Welcome to Spirits and Screams.
Hey guys, welcome to Spirits and Screams. Tonight we're going to take a deep dive into the 4 mainline Conjuring films and the true stories that inspired them. Starting with The Conjuring from 2013. Next, we'll take a look at The Conjuring 2 from 2016. Then The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It from 2021. Ending with The Conjuring 4, Last Rites from 2025. Let's get started on our journey into the dark side of the paranormal. Film 1, The Conjuring from 2013. A horror film based on the 1971 case files of real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. It follows the Perron family, who move into a Rhode Island farmhouse plagued by a malevolent demonic witch named Bathsheba, forcing the Warrens to intervene as the entity attempts to possess the mother. The film that started it all, and in my opinion remains a masterpiece of slow burn atmosphere and terror, The Vibe. Director James Wan revived the 70s old school horror aesthetic in this one, putting priority onto slow burn dread as opposed to cheap gore. And in my opinion, I love this style of film, and I've watched this one many times. The highs, the chemistry between Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga playing Ed and Lorraine Warren grounded the supernatural in human emotion. And I've got to say, through every single film, I was emotional and teary-eyed, and I loved it. Memorable set pieces like the clap and seek scene, oh my goodness, and the haunted basement stuff really set a new level of theatrical performances. It really did, and I think those are the things that make me want to watch it over and over. The lows. Some critics found that the ending was a bit too convenient when you compare it to the incredible tension building scenes before it. But I have to disagree. I think the whole premise of all of these films is that family love, going through a crisis and coming out the other end. And I think this film did just that. And that ending, the possession scene, absolutely scared the crap out of me. It really did. It does every single time. I don't know what it is about those kinds of scenes, but they really scare me. The verdict. I'm gonna have to give this one a 5 out of 5. A Spirits and Screams cult classic. I frickin' love this film because I do. And it is hailed as one of the best films in the franchise by many, and I have to agree. True story. Now let's dive into the true story inspiration behind this film. And keep in mind, the film, they took liberties with it. It's not accurate. And the true story stuff that I'm chatting about now is all stuff that I found online and read about. And I wasn't there. I don't know everything. Neither do you guys. So I really want to chat about this after in the comments, right? I love those long comments down below. And when we talk about it, let's just keep it positive, keep it a positive environment so everybody feels like they can share their feelings. Okay, let's get into this. The Perron family haunting, inspiration for The Conjuring. The Conjuring is based on the experiences of the Perron family, Roger, Carolyn, and their 5 daughters, who moved into a Rhode Island farmhouse in 1971 and encountered intense paranormal activity, leading them to connect with paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The real story involves shadowy figures, unexplained noises, smells, and a seance where the mother was reportedly possessed. Though the film dramatizes events, like the witch Bathsheba's backstory, which was actually a more average woman with a tragic loss, not a Satan-worshipping demon. The parents lived there for nearly a decade, experiencing hauntings from various spirits attached to the property, inspiring the Warrens' famous case files. Haunting phenomena. They experienced full body apparitions, yikes, disembodied voices, weird smells, things flying across the room, and that kind of thing. Totally terrifying. The Warrens' involvement. They connected with Ed and Lorraine Warren, who discovered that there was a malevolent entity connected to the family and the house. Bathsheba Sherman, who was portrayed as the main antagonist in the film. She was regarded as this evil witch that lived nearby in the 1800s. But in all reality, the only stuff that's out there about her is that she suffered some big family tragedies and, passed away later as a result of that, and that she was not this evil witch at all. The seance. So apparently a seance was conducted by Ed and Lorraine Warren leading it because they felt there was a malevolent spirit involved. As they gathered around the kitchen table, they told the children to go upstairs to bed so that they wouldn't be around this kind of thing. And the kids snuck down and had a peek because it was just, what is going on? What is happening? I don't think I could have done that back in the 70s. I would have been terrified. But they came downstairs and peeked, and horrible things were said to have happened. The mother, Carolyn, became possessed at that time, and it was absolutely terrifying and awful. And the kids were freaked out. Andrea Perrin, I've seen talk about this incident as saying that she felt that Ed and Lorraine Warren brought that entity or that spirit into the mix with her mom, and that her mom was never quite the same afterwards. She kind of became a shell of herself. Here's my thinking on that. Totally, that could be absolutely true, because I wasn't there, But in my thinking, I'm wondering if maybe something was there and something was attached to Carolyn, and that brought it out into the open. And because the father stood up and got very angry, kicked them all out, because the mother got hurt. I think she was flung across the room and smashed her head, kind of thing. Because of all of that happening, he kicked everybody out. And they never did resolve whatever was going on there, and she went on to be affected by it, or so they think. And I just think that whole thing is really intriguing, absolutely terrifying. It must have been so awful for the children to see that, and what they must have interpreted that as. It would have been so scary. But like I said, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I think that raises some really interesting things for us to talk about for sure. So years later, they decided they would move out and go to Georgia, where I think Carolyn had family. So they did that, and some of the supernatural occurrences kind of followed them, but most of the really violent things stopped after they did that. So that's interesting. There's a lot of controversy and stuff going on with the Conjuring house right now, with it being up for sale, and just a lot of people want to have at it, and they want to some people want to keep it as a historical site and let people tour it and maybe do ghost hunting and stuff like that, still like it's been done in the past. But there's other people that don't want that, and there's just this big fighting and things going on, a lot of controversy. So may not be the best time for me to reach out to chat with anybody about it, but I still would love to chat with you guys in the comments about all this stuff, because I find it fascinating. In conclusion, very obviously the film took a lot of liberties to make it more entertaining. They condensed all of these events into 2 hours when this thing happened over years, like almost 10 years. And they amped up some of the stories and the ideas and added some more of their own things into it as well. Obviously, it's a movie, it's got to be entertaining. But the fact that it came from this story, and there's so much involved in it, I've only touched on it briefly here, is so fascinating to me. And for James Wan to take this and turn it into a film was really awesome. And I gotta say, if you haven't watched The Conjuring, the first one, check it out, because it's really a good film. It's a slow burn, creepy, haunted house kind of film. And there's possession and jump scares and all kinds of fun stuff, and amazing acting as well. And I hope the controversy with the Conjuring house gets resolved and they do get to open it up again to the public. I would love to go there one day and visit and do ghost hunting. I think that would be so much fun and interesting too. And you guys, I really want to chat about this one, so drop your long comments below and let's chat. Film 2, The Conjuring 2 from 2016. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren traveled to 1977 London to help the Hodgson family, specifically 11-year-old Janet, who is plagued by a malicious demonic entity. The case, known as the Enfield Poltergeist, involves intense supernatural activity, including possessions and moving furniture, that the Warrens must distinguish from a hoax while fighting a demonic nun. The Vibe, a massive stylized sequel set in 1977 London, inspired by the Enfield Poltergeist case. The Highs, it introduced iconic new villains, the Nun, or Valak, and the Crooked Man. The painting scene with the nun is legendary for its suspense. I just love that. It also doubled down on the Warrens' romance, making them the most beloved couple in horror. The Lows. It's over 2 hours long, and some people argue that it might be a little bit too long and that parts of the second act are kind of repetitive. Maybe a little. I just love it. I love this subject matter so much. I could watch forever. So that never really bothered me, but I could see that. The Verdict. Well, I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. A Spirits and Screams cult classic. I frickin' love this film, because I do. It's one of those rare sequels that kind of lives up to the first one and maybe is even a little bit better. True Story. The Enfield Poltergeist. The true story that inspired The Conjuring 2 is the account of the Enfield Poltergeist, which terrorized a single mother, Peggy Hodgson, and her 4 children in their London council house from 1977 to 1979. The Real Events. The haunting begins in August of 1977. The Hodgson family began experiencing bizarre events, including knocking sounds on walls, furniture moving on its own, and toys being thrown across the room. More than 30 people, including neighbors, reporters, and police officers, claiming to have witnessed the activity. One police constable reported seeing a chair slide across the floor without a discernible cause. The voice of Bill Wilkins. The most famous phenomenon was a gruff, elderly voice that seemed to speak through 11-year-old Janet Hodgson. The voice identified itself as Bill Wilkins, a former occupant of the house who had died in an armchair in the home from a brain hemorrhage. Physical phenomena. These events included the children levitating all by themselves, but some felt that the kids were just maybe jumping off the bed, and they captured photos of that. There were also unexplained fires and cold breezes, skepticism and admissions. This case was heavily scrutinized by the public. Though there were psychical researchers that spent a lot of time investigating, there was stuff documented, there were a lot of witnesses and things that they couldn't explain. But there was also admission by the 2 children that maybe they faked some of it. Not all of it, but some of it, just for the sake of attention or to kind of answer to the experts, that kind of thing. So it's kind of hard to say whether it was true or not. In any case, it made for an incredible film. Ed and Lorraine's involvement. So Ed and Lorraine really only went to the house for one day, and that was it. The film heavily exaggerates that, putting them there much more than what actually happened. They did conclude the place was haunted, but they were accused of sensationalizing it and just wanting to make a profit off of it. The nun, Valak, was a complete fabrication for the film, had nothing to do with the Enfield Poltergeist. The actual paranormal investigation part was handled by the British Society for Psychical Research, or SPR. I'd love to go visit that place. You know, I have friends over there that I'm sure have been near there or around there. I would love to go visit that place just to see what it's like. So many great stories come out of there that are haunted, you know? And I find that so interesting and so cool. Conclusion. This one's kind of split right down the middle. There are some people that believe it happened and other people that absolutely don't, think it was a hoax just for attention or money. I'm not sure. There were some things in it that are not explainable, and I wasn't there. I don't know. If it did happen, it's pretty creepy stuff, that's for sure. What do you guys think? Drop your long comments below because I really want to chat about this one too. Film 3, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It from 2021. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on one of the most sensational cases of their careers after a cop stumbles upon a dazed and bloody young man walking down the road. Accused of murder, the suspect claims demonic possession as his defense, forcing the Warrens into a supernatural inquiry unlike anything they've ever seen before. This one tried to break the formula of the haunted house film. It did it with mixed results, though. And the first time I watched this one, I didn't really love it. I felt like the story was so cool. I was so looking forward to see how it would be portrayed. But I didn't feel like they quite did it right. And then I watched it a second time on a live stream with my friend Echo. And he loved it so much and got into so much of the details and things that I started to like it too. He liked it so much that he ordered a physical copy of it as well. So I thought that was really cool. So I gave it another chance and watched it again a third time, and I actually kind of liked it. I mean, there were things about it that weren't perfect. It is the third film. It's not my favorite in the series, but I thought it was a good watch, and I definitely love the story. The Vibe, a detective-style film based on the murder trial of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson from 1981. The Highs, the opening exorcism of David Glatzel, is one of the most intense scenes in all of the series. It also explored the legal and investigative side of the Warrens' work. The Lows, James Wan's way of taking that wild ride of the exorcism at the beginning and then segueing it into a courtroom drama type of thing just didn't quite work. It didn't live up to that tense build up, right, to the end of the film like the other ones did. And the heavy CGI really drew me out. It always does. It was too much for me. But I guess it's kind of a style. And I mean, maybe now looking back on it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. For my review, I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. A spiritual sensation, a devilishly good time. True story. Now let's dive into the true story inspiration for this film. Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, The Devil Made Me Do It defense trial. The true story behind The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, known as The Conjuring 3, centers on the real-life murder trial of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, the first known case in U.S. history where a defendant claimed demonic possession as a legal defense. The case began in 1980 with the alleged demonic possession of 11-year-old David Glatzel, the younger brother of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson's fiancée, Debbie Glatzel. Paranormal activity. After the family moved into a home in Brookfield, Connecticut, David began experiencing night terrors, visions of a creepy old man, and cuts and bruises that were unexplained. The Warrens' involvement. Ed and Lorraine Warren were contacted by the Glatzels, who came in and investigated and felt there was an evil presence there. And they witnessed David levitating and being choked by invisible hands. I can't even. The exorcism and transfer. Several Catholic priests came in and conducted lesser exorcisms on David. During one of the exorcisms, Arnie was helping out, and because he was so distraught and upset that his little friend, was being tormented the way he was, he yelled out to the demon for it to stop and to take him on instead, like leave his little buddy alone. Big mistake. And the Warrens knew right away that the demon or whatever it was that was in David transferred into Arnie, and things got really strange at that point. Arnie's behavior. So following the exorcism, Arnie started to act weird. He'd go into trances. You'd hear him growling. And even at one point, he claimed that a demon caused him to wrap his car around a tree. So really, really strange stuff started happening, completely opposite of his behavior. I've seen him talk actually in interviews now. And yeah, it's so strange that this whole thing happened and that he had that. I mean, he could have been guilty. I don't know. You know, he could have been drunk and it stuff like that just happened. It could be all baloney. It may not be true, but he has such a different personality. And I find it interesting too because of everyone in the family, everybody was really adamant that it actually happened, and there were witnesses that it happened. I mean, the church sanctioned exorcisms. That was not something that easily happened back then. Maybe like it even does today, to help people. And they did. And so it's really hard to say, you know, whether he it didn't actually happen or whether it did, but it sure seems curious. I would absolutely love to chat with him one day about it, or even David, because I've seen videos of him. There's documentaries and stuff where you can watch that too. They all believed it. The only one that didn't was the older brother that kind of went through it. He was the only one that didn't kind of believe it, but yeah, kind of weird. In February 1981, Johnson called out sick from work and spent the day with Debbie, her cousin, and his sisters. They went to a local restaurant where Johnson and their landlord, Alan Bono, had a few drinks. After returning to the dog kennel where Bono lived and Debbie worked, a heated argument broke out between Bono and Johnson when Bono allegedly grabbed Debbie's 9-year-old cousin, Mary, and refused to let go. Typical drunk kind of stuff. Johnson confronted him. And there were rumors and things about Bono and Debbie dated in the past. And so, you know, Arnie might have been kind of jealous of that, and that could have erupted in a fight. They were all drinking. That could have been something crazy too. But anyway, if you see him now and you hear him talk, you just can't even picture it or imagine it. But I mean, things can happen. What was weird about it though was that he like unalived this guy viciously. So that makes it, you know, kind of like odd, very strange. But I mean, once again, I wasn't there. I didn't meet all the people, and I don't know exactly what happened. But I mean, some old drunk guy like grabbing a young kid and not letting them go, and everybody getting upset. I could see the potential for something like that happening, but like I say, I wasn't there, so I don't know. The crime. So Arnie unalived Bono, right, knife kind of thing, and then was found kind of wandering down the road in a trance like a mile away, and said to the police officer when he got picked up, he thinks he hurt someone, but he couldn't remember anything. The defense. So Arnie's lawyer put in a plea of not guilty due to like possession, demonic possession, which was absolutely unheard of at the time. How strange that must have been. This is what I'm talking about. This story is just so fascinating to me. So yeah, they went in saying a demon is in control of my client's body. Yeah. Really, when you think about that, that's so bizarre. I mean, in my world, in my mind, in my thinking, I think it could happen. I really do. But it is kind of a bizarre thing to put out there. And I can imagine the look on the judge's face when they did that, for sure. The verdict. So the judge threw that out of court and said, you can't argue possession as a defense. That's just not scientific. It's not going to happen. And so they had to go with self-defense. And of course, he got charged with manslaughter, and he was sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison. Imagine that. Imagine that if he actually was possessed and didn't recall anything that he did. And having that would be so dreadful, so dreadful. I mean, he would have felt a lot better that his little buddy, David, wasn't possessed anymore, but still, that just, wow, just crazy, because they were young, and him and his girlfriend were going to get married and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so 10 to 20 years, but then, ironically, he only served 5 years and got out on good behavior, which I thought was really strange too. But I mean, maybe that's kind of a thing that did happen back then. I don't know, but it seemed kind of strange. These cases of people that are performing exorcisms, something goes wrong, and then the person gets sentenced to prison, but then the sentence is reduced to nothing, or they get out is just all really bizarre to me, very strange. It really makes you think. I know a lot of people would say that's garbage, it doesn't really happen, it's baloney, but what if it is something, you know? What if it is? You guys, I definitely want to chat about this one in the comments below. Please, long comments. The movie takes significant creative liberties. The elaborate subplot involving an occultist, a curse, and Father Kastner's daughter was entirely fabricated for the film's narrative, of course. Arnie Johnson and Debbie Glatzel married while he was in prison and remained together until her death. I am completely intrigued by the story, and there's definitely something there. I mean, definitely something evil. Whether you believe the possessions happened or not, there's still some horrible things that happened. Very tragic events. And somehow things managed to come together in the end anyway. So I really love this one. I really want to chat with you guys about it. I really do. Comment down below. Film 4. The Conjuring Last Rites from 2025. The film follows Ed and Lorraine Warren in the 1980s as they face their final, most personal case based on the Smurl family haunting in Pennsylvania. The film focuses on the couple battling a demonic entity, a haunted mirror, and the threat to their own family. This film marks the end of the cases for Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, and it is very much a legacy story. The vibe. This one is definitely a personal and emotional story dealing with the true life story of the Smurl family, as well as Ed Warren's declining health in 1988. The highs. It definitely was like a love letter, you know, to the story, and it brings back Judy, their daughter, as one of the main characters, so that was really cool. And the ending was highly praised, and I felt it too, as just this emotional, warm conclusion, heartfelt, you know, to the ending of this kind of saga. And I really enjoyed this one. I got to go to the theater in IMAX and watch by myself, and I had really cool audience members around me, so it was really fun to experience that with them. There were so many times where I had actual tears, like sobbing tears down my face while I was watching it. It really touched me that way. It was such a special movie, and I have all of those movies on DVD so I can watch them whenever I want to, but I really loved that film, and it was such a cool way to watch it too in IMAX. The lows. Some people found that it was kind of formulaic, and it was sort of like, you know, cheesy jump scares, and it really didn't kind of play out that well like a horror movie like the other films. And it did. It played a lot more on the romance, the love, the story of the Warrens rather than the Smurl family. And I feel like almost if they had done the Smurl family haunting separate from this one and just focused on, you know, Ed and the stuff that him and Lorraine were going through, it might have been better, because I feel like they did kind of neglect the Smurl family haunting a bit. They didn't really get into it, and that's a pretty scary story too. The verdict. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. A Spirits and Screams cult classic. I freaking love this film because I did. I thought it was a really touching ending to the whole story, and I still think there might be more. You know, there might be some more coming out, maybe with Judy's character, I don't know. But it was just so touching and so lovely, and like I said, I was bawling my eyes out. I felt embarrassed because you're crying and you're trying to hold it in because you don't want to make any sound or anything, and I had no tissues or anything like that because I wasn't expecting that to happen. I was kind of like that, but it was such a moment. I just couldn't wait to go home and watch it again, you know, when I got the DVD. So yeah, I really highly recommend it. It was so good. True story. Now let's dive into the terrifying true story that was the inspiration for this film. The Smurl family haunting. The Conjuring Last Rites, marketed as The Conjuring 4, is based on the alleged real-life haunting of the Smurl family in West Pittston, Pennsylvania during the 1980s. The family reported a years-long ordeal of terrifying paranormal activity that they claimed escalated to physical and sexual attacks before they sought the help of Ed and Lorraine Warren. The alleged attacks began in the late 70s, shortly after Jack and Janet Smurl moved into one half of a duplex where his parents lived on the other half, and crazy things started happening. Initial events. So in the beginning, they started noticing weird stains on the carpet and on the walls that they couldn't explain. The smell of sulfur or rotting flesh, and they couldn't understand where that was coming from either. And just weird noises and things like that that were happening. The activity intensified over time to include loud, unexplainable noises, knocking and banging, phantom screams, and objects moving on their own. The family dog was reportedly picked up and thrown against a wall, and the daughters were pushed down the stairs. Absolutely terrifying. The most disturbing claims involved physical and sexual altercations with unseen entities. So creepy. Jack Smurl reported being attacked by a demonic presence, which Lorraine Warren identified as a succubus. And Janet had similar things happen as well. Really creepy. This story, really, a lot of it sounds like it could have been legit and absolutely terrifying. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. But some of the stuff seems really, really disturbing. After attempts by local Catholic priests to bless the house that failed to stop the occurrences, the Smurls went public with their story, attracting national media attention, including appearances on shows like Larry King Live, and they eventually contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren in 1986. Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated the home and concluded that it was infested by 4 entities, 3 human spirits, and a powerful commanding demon. The Warrens reported experiencing extreme temperature drops and seeing a dark mass form, and claimed the demon left a message on a mirror telling them to get out. The family moved out in 1987, and a local priest eventually performed a final private exorcism that reportedly ended the decades-long ordeal for the family. I don't know, you guys. This one sounded like it's kind of legit, all the stuff there is to read about it. I mean, maybe it's not, maybe it's fake. I really want to hear your opinions and hash this one out and talk about it because it's so interesting. The film took a lot of liberties here too, because the Warrens actually didn't have as much involvement as they show in the film. They had very little, and ultimately the thing that helped them was somebody else, not the Warrens. In conclusion, the true story of the Smurl hauntings was previously documented in the 1986 book, The Haunted One Family's Nightmare, and a 1991 TV movie based on the book. Anyhow, I hadn't really heard about the Smurl haunting before I watched this movie, and I'm not sure why, because I was into all of that stuff way back in the day. Terrified me. I hadn't heard about it though, so I'm intrigued to go delve into it further, because I think this film just kind of touched on it briefly, as I did with the true story stuff. It's a very scary story. It really is. I feel very bad for those people having to go through that if they did in fact go through it. But in any case, the film was so great and amazing. I just loved the romance side of it. The Ed and Lorraine Warren characters, Vera and Patrick, did such a great job. They have such a good chemistry. It was so fun to watch, so emotional, and a really great conclusion. I really loved Judy being in this film too. I'm hoping that maybe they do more films with that character and kind of carry on with it, because that would be really cool. Judy and her husband Tony Spira, who did the TV show with Ed and Lorraine Warren through the years, documenting things. Love that. So many things have changed. Everyone's getting older now, though, so I don't know. But I think it'd be cool to carry on with that. I know that Vera and Patrick are not doing the movies anymore, so that's fair enough. You know, I think they went out with a bang for sure. Overall, I really enjoyed these films, and I don't think, sadly, there's ever going to be a supernatural horror franchise quite like this one ever again. I really loved how it kind of gave that 70s feel to it throughout, those kinds of film styles, and that's my favorite decade for horror. So I really love that, but you never know. You never know what's going to come out, right? All right, please drop your long comments below and let's chat about all of these stories and all of these films, because I think that would be so much fun. Just remember to be respectful. I think we can be adults in the comment section and have intelligent discussions about this stuff. I really do think we can. You guys, thank you so much for watching. I love doing these kinds of videos, and there's lots more coming, I promise. Let me know what you think. Give it a like. Don't forget to sub to the channel for more videos like this. because I'd really love to have you as part of the group. I really would. We've got a good solid group here, so it would be fun if you chose to sub, and then you can keep up on everything that's happening. And we got lots of new things coming up too. I've got a Patreon that I'm trying to rejig, and I'm going to be adding a bunch of stuff too. I'm going to be talking more about these true stories that connect to the films, stuff that a lot of times just doesn't go over well on YouTube because of the content. So we're going to have stuff over there, and if you want to, think about joining that, you can too. But give me a little time to get some videos up there so that you got something to look at before you join, because there's nothing on there right now. I'm working on it. Well, you guys, have a really great evening. I love you all. And remember, when you're watching horror movies, don't forget to scream responsibly. Have a good night, you guys.